No way that we're making a top four. I can't believe what I just saw. From minute one, Newcastle wanted it a lot more. Score two, but they got four. Whole of the squad, they were piss poor. And they targeted Luke Shaw. Top four, and you wanna play like that? Tell me what for? The team clapped like encore. Like, what? No way that we're making a top four. I can't believe what I just saw. From minute one, Newcastle wanted it a lot more. Score two, but they could have got four. Whole of the squad, they were piss poor. And they targeted Luke Shaw. Top four, and you wanna play like that? Tell me what for? The team clapped like encore. Like, what? What? Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Therms, and I'm joined today by NK. Early hours of the morning for NK right about now. And today, you know what? We're going to talk about Manchester United versus Newcastle. Manchester United got another L today away from home. Look, this was always going to be a tough game, but the way we lost today was disgusting. And today we're going to talk about it. And we are going to give our views and opinions on the game. Look, NK, this was an important game, man. It really was an important game. This is a game where if we beat Newcastle, we can have a nice, clear, comfortable gap ahead of them. It was a 6-pointer in effect, effectively it was a 6-pointer. Obviously for Newcastle, all the incentive was there. One, we beat them in the cup final. Two, if they beat us, they leapfrog us. Do you know what I mean? And we're on the same points as the state. They've got a superior goal difference. Do you remember seeing that goal difference that they showed up on the screen? Bro, we had +4, yeah? Their goal difference was like +22 or something. It is crazy, bro. It is crazy. And it just shows elements in the department of where we're lacking, man. But what's your thoughts on the game, man?
Honestly, before the game, I was saying it. Like, I'll take a draw and run. I was literally just saying it. And after I watched the first half, I said, yeah, I will really take a draw and really run. You know, 100%. And it's just simply because I know these players. You know, anytime they go and get tough and you expect them to kind of like dig deep, they just cannot dig deep. You know, it's something that they've struggled with. So I wasn't surprised about yesterday. I really wasn't. I think if we won, I would have been surprised that we went there to kind of like go win, because it wasn't something I was expecting. But at least I felt like maybe they would have kind of like put up more fight. It was a tip like from end to beginning. It was easy for Newcastle. It was easy for them, and
the whole game.
That has been a problem, because if you look at our form, fams, yeah, since after the World Cup, we've only lost like 3 games, which is not a lot. But the games that we've lost, they've been very, very bad. I mean, we lost, like, I think Arsenal 3-2. That was the first one after the World Cup, which you could say probably it was kind of like a better performance or okay performance. And there was the Liverpool 7-0, which was atrocious.
Yeah.
And then there was this too, you know. So yeah, I mean, it was to me, it was always just coming, man. I just didn't think we had it in us to go to Newcastle and beat them. I just didn't. So, but I thought maybe they would have done enough to kind of like get a draw, but they just didn't. They really just didn't.
I think they showed it on a screen, like our away performances against someone. I think they're like the top 6. And like you said, Liverpool, Arsenal are in there. I think Villa was there, even though like they're not top 6 in terms of us losing against them and some other big hitters. And I think Manchester United, like, they've got a big issue this season, and that was our away form and our ability to beat like the top half teams away from home. And Manchester United, in terms of trying to compete for any serious sort of Premier League next season, we need to address that, because Manchester United can't afford to be dropping all of these points and expect them to be having any sort of sustained push in the Premier League against Chelsea that next season. That may come good if they get a new manager now, against Arsenal, against Liverpool, maybe if they rebuild, against City, as you know. So Manchester United's got an issue there. And I don't know, what do you think the issue is though? Like, between us playing at home and us playing away from home, like what's the big change? Because we've seen us beat these teams before, or at least pick up a point at home. But why is it that when we go away, Man United are just a totally different team? it's mind-boggling.
Because I think at home, the fans is just there to kind of like keep us going, and
so is it
it's
a
very
mental? Is it mental
it's
then, or is it?
it's a mental thing, because if you look at, and I always question the core of this team, and when I say the core of this team, I'm talking about your David De Gea's, your what do you call it, your Shaw, your Brunos, your McTominay's, your Rashford, your Martials, like those guys that has been there for some time, like the core of this team, and they've always seems to kind of like just do this where it's like when you require more from them, they cannot offer you more. They just do what they need to do to go by. And if you remember a few seasons ago, they had a very good record away from home, but at home it was not so great. And now it looks like it's kind of like flipped all that way around. You know, I've always said their limit is top four. You know, their limit is top four. So they know that, okay, we win our home games, we kind of like get the occasional win, and so away it will be good enough to get a top four, you know. But I think the fans just want more. Tim Hagger's coming in, it's kind of like making our appetite kind of like go a bit higher up. The fans seems to want more, the manager seems to want more, but the players just don't seems to kind of like want to give more. And that's when the mentality kind of like kick inside. Like, you go to this ground, because any team that's on the top of the table, you know it's going to be a very difficult game. And when you go there, you have to not deal just with the players too, but you have to deal with their fans, you know, and the atmosphere, everything. But I think mentally, they just never very ready for this type of games, because as I've told you, the manner in which that they lose this game, when we lost to Aston Villa, another game, we were poor. Brentford, poor. You know, City away, poor, very poor. Like, I don't know. There's a big mentality problem, whether they can step it and go the extra level. You know, can you be the team that you're winning at home and you're winning away from home, and actually be challenging or be playing for something, you know? I don't think a lot of them can do that.
I saw like another stat again, and I can't remember it clearly. I don't know. It was with Casemiro, and it was showing like, you know, the games that we win versus the games that we lose with him not being in the team. And I know our away form has been terrible. Like, that's definitely a clear thing. But I also feel like there's another element of this Manchester United team, and that is that we're two-player dependent. Like, in that game, for example, against Newcastle, I knew already it was going to be a tough game because it's away and it's Newcastle, they're flying. And then I realised that Wan-Bissaka was ill and he couldn't play that game. And the way he managed St. Maximin and Almiron even in the first game, I thought, you know what, this guy's a central guy. We need him here against Newcastle. When I heard he was ill, I knew it was going to be a long night. I knew it was going to be a long night for Delo, for one. Two, Casemiro's not there. And then there's guys like Rashford. If he's not performing, then, you know, you're not going to get any goals. Again, I just feel like with Manchester United, or with all the positives that we've been doing this season, I feel like it has been based on a particular player being in the team, or a particular couple of players being in the team. And without them, Manchester United just look like kind of, you never know what you're going to get, a bit basic. And when I look at the opposition teams, for example, I look at like an Arsenal that's high flying. They all say, you know, Partey makes a big difference, but we've seen Partey not playing in a number of games. We've seen their striker only just come back, and they've kept a level of performance, a style, a consistency. And Manchester United need to get to that level where, you know, Casemiro's not in a team and we can still have a style, a level, a consistency, a baseline. And it just feels like you talked about, a lot of Manchester United's losses have been, some of them have been big, massive scorelines and terrible. To like against Newcastle, right? David De Gea made that double save. Look, he spared our blushes. Like, he made the scoreline 2-0. Look, we could be talking about 4-0 or more. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
terrible, and it's two-player dependent.
The goalkeeper too, he's part of the problem. But so, I mean, obviously, we've been doing OT for some time. I'm sure people just kind of like watching. Obviously, people always have their views about us, and with most times when we've won, I've always come here to say, okay, yeah, we won, but so and so they didn't really play well, so and so they didn't really do well. Then it's evident there. You can always also see, you can always win a game of football too, but I think sometimes the performance that kind of like come with it make you just kind of like have an idea whether it's sustainable, and the way in which where we've won games where, and this season too, I say more than 50% of our games we've won it by playing bad, and the question is, at some point they catch up to you. He always catch up to you, because this is, I mean, look at the game that we played against them in the CAF finals. It was similar to this game, They had us a bit on the ropes. Yet they didn't create like the big chances, but they had the ball. They were very intensity and everything like that. They were the better team until Casemiro scored a header, and that's what changed the game. So we've been a very like moment team where we are able to sustain pressure, and then out of nowhere we just create a chance.
One bit of quality,
yeah. We just create that one bit of quality, whether it's Bruno creating a chance, and then Rashford being on form, scoring the goals. They do that too. And on the other end too, whether it's a Casemiro that will be there, that any ball that kind of like come, he'll protect the defensive leg, or Martinez having a game of their life, or De Gea just doing that. So we've been a moment team, and as the season have going on too, every single game there's always just like that one person that seems to stand up. But as a collective, as a team, for them to play together as a collective, as a team, and actually just win it, there's not a lot of games that you could say, okay, you know what, this game they actually play, it was a team performance. The game that stick to my head was Liverpool at home, that come to mind. Tottenham at home, that come to mind. But there haven't been a lot of games that I would say, yeah, you know what, this was a great team performance, and that's something we don't play as a team. So it's very hard.
My issue is when I watch that game, it's like there's certain things that's making me like cringe, like squirm when I watch that game. So one, it's the fact that we just can't keep a hold of the ball. Like we just can't hold the ball for like 5 seconds. It's like a hot pocket. It felt like everyone on that pitch was moving like Bruno Fernandes. We can't have the whole team not keeping on to. We don't even have enough room for Bruno to be putting us under that much pressure, and him not providing the assist that he normally does when he does to at least counter that. We had the whole team giving away the ball. We had a whole team of Bruno Fernandes's. Secondly, Manchester United, right? It just felt like the weaknesses that we had. Our team, look, Newcastle's tall. They had that Shaw, Dan Burn, Joe Linton. They've got giants in that team. Manchester United, it felt like at every given opportunity, we're giving away set pieces. We're giving away set pieces, inviting that pressure. We're playing it out from the back, inviting that pressure. Look, Manchester United, I know we're trying to go with this style of playing it out from the back and progressing it forward, but what good is that if you're only going to lose the ball 2 seconds later? You may as well just go long, and if you're losing the ball, at least you're trying to lose it higher up the pitch. Look, Manchester United, yeah, one of those goals led from us like trying to do passing out from the back, and then I think Weghorst has got McTominay done one flick, lost the ball. I don't even know, just all some nonsense which led to a counter-attack. Manchester United really need to understand and read the game, and I don't know if it's Erik ten Hag saying, do you know what, because there's certain things I watch in that game, right? Luke Shaw was getting peppered on his side, yeah? They targeted Luke Shaw, right? I thought it was going to be Maximin's side, and he did have these moments where a lot of it just shifted to the low side, but in the beginning it was Luke Shaw's side, and Rashford wasn't supported. Rashford wasn't tracking back. I'm looking at the game thinking, it's evident. Now, is it Erik ten Hag telling Rashford, spare your energy, save it, because we want to hit them on a break, you need to be higher up the field? Or what is it? Because when you're up against, I don't get it.
I've noticed that a lot of the time, and I think part of it is tactical, where the manager is saying, okay, you know what, when it's the first phase of them attacking, for example, don't rush back per se, but at times you need to read the situation to just know when to come and help and when not to kind of like help it. So it's a bit of
pressure was a lot. It's a pressure. If the pressure's that deep, you need to be able to chip in.
I think, I don't know, something when I watch Rashford, I think sometimes I just feel like he too good to just do the defensive work. It's kind of like creeping in for him to say, okay, you know what? I would be on the other end scoring a goal that I don't really want to put in the shift just like that. Like, you let's go do that, and I will benefit from that. Like, because even what do you call it? His attitude from the whole game. I remember when the Newcastle player fouled him, and I know probably yes, it was a foul. It didn't go well too, and then he slammed his boot down there. You know, he slammed his boot, and I think you know what, like you shouldn't be getting frustrated at that time of the game. You know, so I question that bit of him, and it's not just this season; it's been going on for some time too. No, even when Oli was there to certain place, we're not tracking back, and I think we play as a transition football most of the time, and part of the transition football is that when we win it, and you see how normally like Bruno is when he win it, he want to put in the ball up front too. You want some players to be left there in order for you to hit the ball to them. So I think that's a part of the tactical instructions is that, okay, when we are defending, we don't want all 10 or 11 players to be defending, and we need one of our players to position themselves a certain way too. But at the same time, just says to you, as a player, you need to be smart enough to just know, okay, you know what, while this is a tactical thing that we're trying to do, I've seen that this player is struggling on this certain type of like counter-attacking situation. So let me tack in and let me help it. Don't just stand there and just waiting that someone just at times you need to take a responsibility. And a lot of the players in these teams don't take responsibility. They always want someone else to take a responsibility for them. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it like, hey, you know what? Shaw need help. Go help him. Go help him. But it's like he's just chilling. I think what was it the first goal? So he's just watching. He's just walking. He literally just walking, thinking, okay, you know what? Someone else is gonna do it. And I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, Rashford, go do it. And he's like you watch the game, and you'll pick up a lot of stuff that film say it will actually frustrate you. You know, you pick up a lot of the stuff like from the play that really frustrates you. I'm already over these players, the ones that has been here that have seen like 2-3 managers. I'm already over them. You will never see me hyping this player up. Even when Rashford has been on form, you know me, I'm very kind of like critical. I say, okay, you know what? You're scoring goals, you're not playing well, but you're scoring goals. What happened when the goals dry up? Where else you got to give?
You know what's bad?
They're drying up, and he ain't even giving nothing.
I was thinking, you know, these guys are going to come back well refreshed, you know, 2-week break, and just, you know, certain guys, you know, got rested, put in a performance, but it's mad. But the other thing is, like, when I looked at Manchester United, I saw the shape, and I saw how Scott McTominay was playing, especially in the first half, was playing more advanced, and Sabitzer, you know, Bruno loves to drop. Sometimes he's the deepest. Sabitzer was playing behind Scott McTominay. We know that Sabitzer's got a shot on him. We know that Sabitzer's got a pass on him, especially in the further up the pitch. But Scott McTominay did that, and it played there, and it just made me think, how much did the internationals influence that decision maker from Erik ten Hag to play Scott McTominay more advanced? But then you look at it and you sit back and you're just like, fam, at times you had Scott McTominay and Wout Weghorst as your most advanced players for Manchester United in a central position. Like, Wout Weghorst, I remember only like a half a chance, had that shot, hit the side netting. And then Anthony, I can't remember what half it was, he had that half attempt where he kind of tried to do one. I don't even know what he tried to do with that hit. And that was it.
That wasn't good enough. That, like, the swing, I don't think your McTominay playing up there had to do with what happened in the international. I think we know that the manager loved to play from the back his ideal way. You know, he was chasing Frankie. There was a reason why, because he want his midfielders to be able to like receive the ball. He don't trust Scott McTominay to receive the ball that deep in our own half, because he feel like they can press him and get the ball away from him. I think it's similar to Fred too. So if you watch even when Fred play, Fred is always asked that push very high. Eriksen, when Eriksen was the one, when he was there, he'll be the one to kind of like help with the build-up play from the back. But since he got injured, the manager has been struggling in terms of like who to use. You know, he tried to do that with Bruno, but that's just not Bruno. You know, that's just not his skill set. So even it's not his skill set, but then if you drop him there, it's a question, okay, who else is going to be up there to be providing the creativity up there? And he just hasn't seems to find someone. He's tried a lot of people in that position. He's tried Sancho, hasn't worked out. He tried even Weghorst there, didn't really work out too. He tried Fred there, hasn't worked out too, and now he's trying to score McTominay there. So you can see that he hasn't been happy with the balance of the team all season. He hasn't been with the balance of the team all season, and he keep on trying it too. I worry too sometimes about Tim Hector because I don't know. Like he's been here for some time to just know that this players and players that you want to be trying like those type of like stuff with, they just not clued up to just adjust to this kind of like stuff. You know, asking McTominay to play that role, he's never going to be able to play that role. A lot of these players are very limited, very limited.
And that's I think when some of our players have a good performance, they've got the ability to have a good game or good few games. Like Scott McTominay, have praised him in this season for having a good game, especially in the beginning of the season when Casemiro was out, he was doing his job and doing it well. Look, I feel like some of the players, where there might be positives in one aspect, there's limitations in another. Like I looked at Manchester United substitutions, right? And then I looked at Newcastle's bench and who they were bringing on. And I was just like, Pellistri would have done well maybe in a game against Nottingham Forest where you could have made a difference or something like that. But against Newcastle, that robust, solid Newcastle that's gunning for top four, these guys maybe didn't have enough time or were just not of that level of quality to have a serious influence to turn the game around against Newcastle. And Newcastle are bringing on the likes of Joe Linton to, maintain their shape, give them a bit of strength, solidity.
Callum Wilson. Would you take Joe Linton at Man United?
I wouldn't, but for Newcastle, I just feel like it works and it's suiting them. And I just feel like with Manchester United, with the level of quality that we need, we ain't got that substitution for Manchester United, the ones that work for us, that can make... And a big positive, like, and I know we spent like most of this video talking about all of the negatives because there wasn't really too much positive to talk about in that game. But the big positive was Anthony Martial. Look, with Anthony Martial, instantly, don't get me wrong, like Anthony Martial has been out for the whole season, right? He's let the team down, he's let himself down. But it's so evident when that guy comes on the pitch, there was something that I saw instantly that I didn't see on the game, in that whole game. And what that was is the ball sticking. The ball just stuck to his feet, held it up, dead control, kills the ball flat, lays it on. He actually even got a shot off in the small cameo he did. He actually even got a shot off where I was just like, oh wow, like I didn't even know that was even possible because guys would no, I couldn't see a shot coming off from nowhere. And for me, it was just like, this Martial is like, this is what we've been missing in a lot of our games. And we just play differently. Like with Martial, we just play differently. And it's a big miss for us. Like it really was a big miss. He is someone that we need to keep fit for the rest of the season.
Look, honestly, I'm down with that guy, man. Like, there's nothing that he's gonna do that's gonna impress me. And to be honest with you, after the first goal went inside, I stopped watching the game. So I didn't really see some of the good stuff that he did, man. Because perhaps I just knew we were not gonna come back into the game. I just knew it. And the way the first half performance was just so bad, I just didn't really see it. And what was very shocking to me too, and look, this manager, I fear for him. I fear for him. I don't know what's going on with this takeover stuff and everything, but I fear for him because when it was 0-0 and he made a sub where Sancho and Martial came on, in that moment, he only had one player on the pitch that was his permanent signing. That was Martinez. The rest of the guys there were not his guys.
And then he took off Martinez and Varane. He done a double substitution, took off Martinez and Varane. Martinez went ballistic.
We got a game coming up on Thursday. We got a game coming up on Thursday, and it was a game where, look, they already scored a goal. We got to commit to go forward. So you need to do something. You know, what's your centre back gonna do? Martinez ain't even like the tallest guy for you to say, okay, then when we have a set piece, I'm gonna drop him in there to go win a header.
So but you know what it is? I understood he took a risk, but Delors was not even having the best of games. Luke Shaw wasn't even having the best of games. And you left them on and took off Martinez and Varane, and just made our defense just instantly weaker. Like Gary Neville said it straight away. Like it was just like, this is either going to end up being a 1-1 or 2-0 because the game now has been so unstable with those subs.
To me, look, it didn't matter whether I was 1 or 2-0.
He didn't.
Like there was no difference, and the way in which that we were playing, look, they could have kept Martinez, they could have kept Veranda, they could have added Maguire and Lindelof there. We're probably going to end up conceding a goal anyway, because as 1-0, you have to risk it. You have to do something. And obviously, look, sometimes Tim Hag, he does some stuff that I just look at him and I'm thinking like, what you doing?
You should have made the subs earlier. Should have made subs. Weghorst was not in the game.
Yeah, but look, all season I always just say like he's been making such changes like that as a manager. He's been gambling a lot, and sometimes his gamble has paid off. But from what I know from him, his track record, tactically, his in-game management has never been good. It's never been good. Today was one of them. He couldn't read the game at halftime to say, hey, you know what, things are really going bad, so let me change it. He couldn't read the game to change it. So
I think he's been good. Like I think his in-game's been solid.
I think he's been lucky. I think he's been lucky with his
in-game. Look how many games he's done it. He's topping the league. He's topping the charts for points and I think goals scored. Yeah, points attained and goals scored via substitutions. All those decisions that he makes. Yeah, the question you could ask is, why is it that you're having to make so many?
I don't know. They won you the games. They didn't really turn the performance around. And as I said to you today, you could have probably just changed and brought Garnacho, and then Garnacho produced a magic moment. And you guys give him credit for just kind of like doing that. But this is what I said to you. Tactically, it's been very like lucky. It's not like he's bringing players on and changing like team shape or just doing that. It's just changing man for man and different players with like a different style of play coming on to just impact the game.
Do you think like the board let him down though? Because in January it was a significant time where we needed to invest, and Manchester United, we said, you know what, we're not giving you nothing, go into the loan market and get Weghorst. And my issue is just like when you're like Arsenal strengthened, right? As much as they didn't get their number one signings, right? They brought in Jorginho, they brought in Trossard, who's having an instant impact, both of them. They brought in players. And Chelsea strengthening, even though they're not doing well. We saw the teams around us strengthen. Manchester United brought in Weghorst, and he's working his socks off. But
I don't think they let him down in January. I think they let him down in the summer, because in the summer we spent a lot of money, and we paid money for players that were not worth the price because we chose to do the business so late in the window.
Yeah,
so true. I think that we went wrong. And when you spend the money that you spend in summer, I think a lot of owners and a lot of clubs just know that, okay, I've spent a lot of my money in summer, so I will not be spending in January too. And that whole Ronaldo thing, they should have anticipated it coming. They didn't. They let it kind of like ride out to go to January, and everybody could just see that it was coming, and we were just not well prepared to deal with it in terms of like replacement. And with Martial, just do that. That's what I said. With Martial, 2 injuries and everything, which is also another like big issue too. Look, the money wasn't, as I said to you, it was the summer that they let him down. The summer, January time. Look, when you spend that money that you spend in summertime, a lot of football clubs will not go out to just spend money. You deal with what you have, So no, I don't think the club let him down in January. I think they let him down in the summer by paying those type of like money for like your Anthony's and all that. That's when they let him down.
Look, we got massive games coming up. I think the small positive is that our next couple of games is at home, but our next game is nuts. You saw the game against Brighton and Brentford and how it was just a goal thriller. How Ivan Toney's on form of his life. It's going to be a crazy game for Manchester United. It's going to be a tough game. These are the Brightons, the Brentfords, the Newcastles are teams that you just don't want to play right about. You want to avoid them, but Man United's got them. And then we've got Everton at home as well. So, look, we need a victory. We really do, because Tottenham's playing Everton. If they get that win, they jump ahead of Manchester United as well. The game in hands mean nothing if Manchester United are not converting those game in hands into victories. And right about now, top 4 is looking very rocky roads right about now. It's looking very rocky roads.
Yeah, the thing is, well, Tim Hag has been stubborn all season. We go for every trophy. and that's fine. He's probably like done it, but we're getting to that time of the season. Games are just coming thick and fast. Players have played a lot of games, so their bodies are naturally shutting down. They can see the finish line, and they got a few gas left in them, to see the finish line. You already got a team that cannot play intensity football. They play so many games already this season, and we're still in 3 competitions. He need to choose. He said Man United have to play in the Champions League next season. Well, right now your back is against the wall. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago we had a very comfortable cushion. Now we're back right into the dogfight again. Literally right back into the dogfight. You go the Europa League that can potentially, if you win it, take you into the Champions League. But there's still a long way to go in that competition too. There's the FA Cup where, to me, I don't really care too much about that. We already got 1 domestic trophy, but he need to make a priority. Like, what's wrong? You don't want to do what you did today, where after you wind up down, that's when you're taking Martinez and Varane off because you want to save some leg. You don't do that. If that's the case, then rotate. Trust certain players to kind of like play them so that you can give players certain rest. To say, okay, you know what, my priority right now is this competition. So in this competition, I'm going to play my best team, and in the other competitions, I'm going to rotate. And if I get a result, I get a result. If I don't, I don't, because he cannot do this because we go games every 3 or 4 days. We go games. You don't want to do this thing where you're playing and then when they go wrong, that's when you want to rest players. It's not going to work because it means you know that they're tired. And you know that they can give you 90 minutes. So then start rotating them. So if he don't choose, and at this point of the season, he's still saying we go for all competition, he's making a big gamble. One that might end up with us losing the top 4 and potentially not even winning any more trophies from here. And it will look like, okay, we potentially won a trophy and could have got top 4 to make a good season too. We won a trophy with that Champions League. And then it just started to look like a lot of the hard work that you done from the beginning of the season have gone to waste. So, and we don't want that. And I think as a manager too, he don't want that too. So
I think you're right. I think he's got the mentality that's elite to want to win everything. Because I see him saying, we want to be playing 60 games this season. It shows we're being successful. But at the same time, we ain't got the team that's capable to match that mentality that he has. So I feel like the summer and the takeover is important. But look, I'm to the end of the show. Guys, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about our top 4 chances, man. Because right about now, look, our gap is cut.
No, I didn't even, after the game yesterday, I didn't even know Newcastle was ahead of us, I didn't know until
what difference.
Even after the game and everything, just I didn't know. But then when I saw that they were ahead of us, it got me more pissed off. I'm thinking, did the players not know that?
It's a big game.
They don't know register that. Like, hey, if this happen, they're gonna go on top of us. Imagine this was the last game of the season, and we went there to go get results to get Champions League. They would have let us down, and that's the one thing too. We don't want to leave it to the last game of the season because with this, you just never know, man.
6 points. That's what I was saying. That it's a 6-pointer versus them. It was massive, and we played it just like Newcastle played that final. It was terrible, man. It was terrible. We didn't show up. Nothing. It was dead. But you know what? We've got like I said, we got to push on. Look, we got Brentford at home. We need the W. We need the W, and we need it against Everton. So, guys, let us know what you think, man. Let us know if you feel like top 4 is still achievable with this team. Let us know if titles is still achievable. I do think it's still achievable. I do feel like we're going to need Eriksen coming back in. I do feel like we're going to need Martial fighting fit. But, it won't be easy. It really won't be easy, man. But remember to like, comment, subscribe, and support the team. Peace.
Peace.